Hi, I'm Max. I'm the creator behind Eat the Rich Art. I use he, him and they, them pronouns, and this is what I've made in January / the yarn I've used in January. So this is kind of a bit of a stash busting video, and being kinder to myself this month than I have been in previous months. I will still set goals, but I'm not going to be hard on myself if I don't meet the goals, for reasons I will explain shortly. But to start with, we're starting the month with 69 balls of yarn in my stash. We have 8,626 grams across those 69 balls, and we've also started the month with one whip, which is this shirt I'm making for my sister. So my goals that I would like to meet are the same as they have been the past couple of months. I would like to use one ball of yarn a day, 100 grams of yarn a day, and finish one project per day. In terms of numbers for grams, last month I set the goal of getting under 10 kilos of yarn. I think this month I'd like to get under 6 kilos, which will be 2.5-ish kilos used. Now, the reason I'm not going to be strict on myself about those goals is because towards the end of December I was behind on projects, I was panicking a little bit about that, and I also had quite a lot I needed to get done for rush commissions and presents for people, and in that process I have hurt my wrists. I think it's just strain. I think there's a little bit of repetitive strains going on, so I'm being very, very careful over how much I do per day. I'm not stopping myself crocheting entirely. It's a stim for me. I do rely on it to keep myself regulated. It's very, very helpful for my autism and anxiety, so I'm not going to stop myself doing it entirely, but I'm being very careful about the strain I put my wrists through, because I've had a lot of pain in this kind of area, and then this thumb likes to get really sore right in the joints, so yeah, we're being careful. So if I don't meet the goals, that's fine, because my wrists are more important. But I do also have my knitting machine now, so I'm going to count anything I make on that towards the goals as well, because it will be yarn used, and it is still a yarn based project. So if I get to the point where crocheting is difficult, I might move on to the knitting machine, or I might use that to give my wrists a break every now and then. So yeah, that is the intro to this video. It is the second today, which means that I have an update for you as to what I did yesterday. So to start with, I made this guy. This is the pufferfish by a name that I'm going to put on the screen, and he is just adorable. He's made out of Parfait Chunky in Aqua. That guy, I used a 5mm hook on him. Everything, for some reason, using Parfait Chunky says to use a 4.5. I can't, it hurts. I have to size up to a 5 or a 5.5 with it. So I don't know if I've just got really tight tension. Anyone who's familiar with Parfait Chunky, let me know what that's about, please. But yeah, so that's that guy. The other thing I did yesterday was I finished one ball of yarn on this top. So I had about 60 grams left of the ball before this one. Finished that off yesterday, attached the new ball. So that was my one project and one ball finished yesterday. Did only finish that 66 grams, not 100, but that will be topped up by other skeins, I'm sure. Oh, it is the 3rd of January. So the update for today is that yesterday I made this guy. This is Drift by the Crochet Carpenter, and I've made him just the plushy version because I need to have a look into how to make sure for certain that any finger puppet patterns that I'd like to do are UKCA safe before I make them. So one guy. And then I made progress on the top. I've done the body. Let's see if I can show it. So yeah, body's done. She wants it mid-length, so it's mid-length. Let's unroll that bit. And it's cute, and then I've got a bit of the way on one sleeve. She wants bow sleeves, so they're going to take a little while. But this is my last ball of this yarn, and I don't think I'll quite get 2 sleeves out of it, so I might have to buy an additional ball to finish this. But the drape on it is lovely. So that was the progress I made yesterday. I finished one more ball of the blue yarn, which puts us at 68 balls remaining in the stash. Oh, this hasn't updated. This hasn't updated. Yeah, I have a lot of problems because I film on my phone, and I tend to, when I update my yarn used and stuff, I tend to update it on my phone, and sometimes it doesn't update across to my iPad very well, so whoopsie. So the actual balls remaining in the stash is 67. We've used 2 so far in January, either in 2025 for that one. Yeah, we've used 2 balls so far in January. That's 167 grams, because one of those was 66 grams and the other one was 101. The ball I'm working through is 105 grams, so that'll bump us up a bit. Then we have 2 finished projects and 1 in progress. So we are on track so far with everything except the grams used. Hello, it is the 4th today. I made a Luna the Baby Dragon by Dr. Choco Crochet yesterday. This is one of my newer ones. And then I also made a book sleeve on my knitting machine. I'm not too sure about it. I'm aware it's a little ugly, so I'm gonna give the knitting machine a go with a different yarn, probably one that's thicker, and see if that looks any better before I make any more. But that does mean we didn't finish any yarn yesterday. So we've finished 4 projects so far this month. We're on track with projects. We're just a bit behind on yarn because we've only used 2 balls for 167 grams. However, I have slept funny on my shoulder and my wrists are still giving me trouble. So I'm not gonna push myself to use up yarn this month. I think as long as I'm still making stuff I'm happy with, I'm still making an amount I'm happy with, then I'm okay just to go slowly and not push to use yarn up. Though hopefully I find out some of the yarn that I've got, the acrylic yarn that I've got, goes through the machine well, because if it goes through the machine well, then I can just churn it out and have things made, so we'll see. Anyway, that's the update for today. Hello, it is the 5th of January and that means we are back at the desk today, sadly. So we'll see how well I keep up with my goals. To be honest, with how my wrists are feeling, I think I'm going to need to slow down even from 1 plushie a day. I just need to let them heal, so I might start seeing more and more knitting machine stuff throughout the month while I wait for these to stop hurting, and then we'll get back to the plushie making, which is sad, but it's okay. I've got to listen to my body. But yeah, so the update, I made this guy yesterday and I didn't finish any more yarn, so we're at 5 projects for January. This is Carlos the Crocodile by Chez du Coton, which will be linked down there, so he's adorable. The only thing I think he needs that's not in the pattern is spikes, because he just, yeah, he needs spikes, he needs something to finish him off, but yeah. so that's the update. Hello, it is the 6th. I have a new Stranger Things top because we went to town yesterday and I couldn't resist Primark. Oops. And I have updates for you. So I used some yarn up yesterday. I've been making this hoodie bear by Nooksooks in yarn soap chenille. I do think in future I will probably make them in either parfait or banat or whatever thicker yarn I have available at the time, because I love him but he's very small and that means I'm not going to be able to get the price that the time he's taken would require me to, but he's cute. We have the second arm ready to attach when I get to that part of the round, and then the hood ready to go on, and that's where I managed to get to while still protecting my wrists yesterday. So that means that we used up the yellow. This is what I have left. I'm going to save that for fixing Derpy's face, but I am counting that ball as done. So we finished that. I'm going to aim to finish this today, and I think this should hopefully finish this bit of brown, or if it doesn't, I already want to make a second one in piglet colours, so that's fine. And I have another ball of that there somewhere, in case I run out. So that's what we did yesterday, and that puts us at 3 balls used, 193 grams used, and 5 finished projects, 2 in progress projects. Yeah, that sounds right. So doing all right. The only thing we're behind on is yarn usage. I would like to get my knitting machine back out tonight, I think, and use up some of this stuff that's over here, to try and perfect my book sleeve pattern. So I should hopefully have 2 patterns coming out this month, because I'm hoping to get the Derpy pattern out and the book sleeve pattern out. So the book sleeve will be a free pattern because it's simple, and then Derpy I think I'm going to do as a paid pattern. But yeah, cross fingers I get those done, and I will see you tomorrow. Hello, it is the 7th. We have an easy update today. I finished this guy yesterday. Sorry, the lighting is awful so you can't really see him, but that's one. We need a Pooh Bear done. No more yarn used. Sorted. Easy peasy. Hey, it's been a while. It's the 12th today. Yeah, I had to take a few days off because my wrists were hurting, and then I forgot that my hob was hot because we have an induction hob. Went to check that it was cool enough to put something that could melt on it, and burnt my fingers. So yeah, you can't really see it now. It's been a couple days, but it's still a bit stiff and weird. So still trying to crochet along with it because it doesn't hurt. Just yeah, generally had to take a bit of a break there, because the day that my hands felt fine again to crochet, like the day that my palms weren't hurting, was the day I burnt my fingers. So that was fun. But I did still finish a couple of things yesterday. Now that I'm feeling a bit better, a bit more on it, which is why I'm updating you. So we've not made much progress on the top. We'll start there. I've still got half of the ball I was working on last time I updated. I am accidentally frogging it, so let's stop doing that. Pull a nice big loop through there. Yeah, so we're about that far down on one sleeve. I'm on sleeve island with it. That's today's job, is to try and get at least to the end of that. And then the other 2 things that I managed to finish were the dragon I was working on, that I had to take a pause on because the yarn was hurting. So he is now done. He is a big boy and he is ready to be set on fire. And then the other thing I did was I got approved for a pattern test by Crocheting with Anna. I will link her in the description. She has been lovely and patient with me while I've been dealing with injuries. And this is the little mini flower pal that I made using that pattern. It was a wonderful pattern. I only had one bit of feedback and that was on a little bit of wording. But yeah, she's fixed that, it's all good. I can't remember when the release date is, so I will pop that on screen now. It should already be released by the time this video releases anyway, but yeah, it was just adorable and they really didn't take me that long at all. And she does have a bigger version of him as well. This is the mini, and then she's got a full-size version as well. So adorable. I need to take photos of him today in the daylight. She's asked for daylight photos. And yeah, that is my makes for the past few days. That means that we've not finished any yarn, not finished any balls. So we're up to 8 projects with 1 in progress, so 9 in total. And the grams that I've recorded as using for each project is 483 grams. The grams from finished balls is 193 of that. And 3 balls finished, but plenty of balls halfway through. So that is the update. And I will hopefully see you again in less time this time. Hello, good morning, and welcome to the 15th of January. Yeah, I dropped off again. Sorry. But I've been making things, right? Been making things. So I think the last time I was on, I showed you these guys. So there we go. Then I wanted to finish my grey banana blanket off. So I made one. Sorry, let's give it light. One of the Just a Mum Crocheting dummies. This is with the Snuggler mod, because I thought I had 2 of her patterns, but I just had the mini dummy and the Snuggler mod. So that is that one. Then to finish off the banana, I did a pattern test for Mythic Phoenix. So this is Gustav the Gargoyle. The pattern will be released by the time this video goes up, I think. And then I did a second Gustav because I just couldn't resist. So this is in like a browny stony colour from Parfait. So that's 3 things I've made. I'm also if I can get her out of the bag. I'm finally onto the second sleeve of this top. So that's the first sleeve done. So yeah, sleeve 2 is finally underway. I have that much of this ball left, and then somewhere there, one final ball of it, and that will be my Christmas yarn used up. So that does mean we have finished 2 more balls of yarn. I don't think I've added them to the spreadsheet, so I will do that quickly now and then come back to tell you how we're doing. Cool, so we are on 5 balls used, 428 grams used, and 11 out of 12 projects finished so far in January. So the aim for today is to finish off the top. I think I'm about 6 inches into the sleeve, and the sleeves need to be 27. So I've got 21 inches left on that, which is about 40 rows. But they're quite quick rows, so I do think I can do it. So if I can finish that today, and that will be another ball of yarn finished. And then what I'd also like to do, I need to go somewhere for an appointment this afternoon, But after that appointment, I think I'd like to crack the knitting machine back out and keep going with trying my book sleeve pattern, and also maybe with trying to do a hat and stuff like that. So hopefully these will end up getting a bit more used up. I also need to do so much of my nan's cardi that I made over December because her sleeves are too short, so I need to get that off her, steam it, see where we're at once I've steamed it, and then maybe frog the cuffs on the sleeves and lengthen them, which luckily I do have a bit more. I think it's there, but the lighting's a bit shit. A bit more of the yarn that I used for that. So that is what we're doing. I did want to say that I think this will be my last monthly makes video. It's because I think that the issues I'm having with the subscriber number going down is because I'm not updating with the same kind of content as usual, because we're at a gap in markets now. Towards the end of this month, market's going to start picking up again. So hopefully that'll fix the issue, but I think just in case, I'm better to move to 2 videos a week. So I'll be doing a this week's makes video that I record. Probably I'll record that on a Sunday, and then that will probably be uploaded on a Friday, and then I'll keep my normal like challenge videos, market videos and stuff as Monday uploads, just to give me that time to edit it if it needs editing. I'm going to try to make it that I don't need to edit them as well, just to release the strain a little bit. But yeah, so from February onwards there should be 3 videos a week, because there should be a challenge video or a market video on a Monday, a what I made this week video on a Friday, and then there should be a short uploaded at some point in the week. I'm not sticking to a day with my shorts because I'll just film them when I have something to film. So yeah, that will be a change to the upload schedule coming in February. And that is everything I needed to say, I think. So I will see you hopefully tomorrow if I manage to finish some projects. If not, it might be a couple more days until I update again, but thank you for sticking with me. And I will see you at some point, I guess. Hello, it is the 16th of January, so I'm actually remembering to update this time. We have finished the top. It's all done. Lovely. So that is another ball of yarn used. And that puts us at... that puts this top at 506 grams of yarn used for it. We've finished 12 projects in total so far in January, 6 balls of yarn and 528 grams. Now, I am hoping, I've got quite a busy weekend coming up, because I'm seeing my friends on Saturday, who we have a little crafty social time once a month, which is quite nice. And then we need to go over and see my parents on Sunday. So I'm hoping to get some knitting machine time in to hopefully empty this out a bit more. So that should catch us up a bit on projects and yarn used. So that is that. That does mean there might be a second knitting machine video coming where I actually work out what I'm doing and just have a chat to you while I do that. But yeah, so that will not be today's challenge though. Today's challenge is to use a bit of this ball up. So I'll see you tomorrow and let you know what I've done. Hello, it's the 19th today. I've had a very busy but very productive weekend, and I feel rough. I feel so rough. So I'm going to quickly squeeze this in before I start work. Hopefully be able to do a full day of work, and then yeah. But I'm so tired. So this might be a bit all over the place while I try and work out what I did and when, but yeah. Friday I made this guy, who is a little strawberry bunny with a little, it's got Elise Voluto there. This is Parfait Chunky. And then the seeds are Yarn Smiths. He's adorable. He's just got plain black eyes, but I did a bit of white around them so they stood out because the red's quite dark. And a little heart nose. This is by Fluffy Hooks. So I was trying this out because I've applied for a chocolate festival, so if I get into that I'd like to do a chocolate dipped strawberry bunny where like his head is brown and then the rest of it is the strawberry. So yeah, I think I'm going to be making more of this guy and testing him and doing all of that. He's got a thick booty. This was such an easy pattern to follow. I was really happy with it. It's free on Instagram, so that will be linked in the spreadsheet, because I have a spreadsheet now because that's easier for me to update than me trying to copy and paste all of the patterns every time I make a video. So that's him. And then after him, I thought I'd make another hoodie bear because the prompt for the Traveller's Wheel this week is rust and extinct. So I made a rust coloured bear that's a dinosaur because dinosaurs are extinct. So this is all, I think it's all Parfait Chunky. Yeah, so this is sage, this is cream, and this is rust. And then obviously his nose is black. Tried to do the face shaping. I don't know why, but my face shaping always looks really baggy on these guys. But yeah, I thought I'd give him another go because with the Pooh Bear one, I didn't actually get to finish it properly because I didn't have enough yarn to do the like little ends of the hoodies, so I thought I'd give it a go with that. And then I added to the pattern myself the spikes and the little tail, just because I felt the back of it was quite plain and needed a bit something extra, but all of the front is Nook's design, including the teeth. I just wanted to add some spikes and a tail. So yeah, that is that guy. I made him Saturday, so that's that one. And then after that, I just wanted something where I didn't need to take materials with me because I went to my friend's for our little craft club that we do. So I took him to finish off because by the time we needed to leave, he had like the top of his head was open, he didn't have ears yet, and I hadn't done the detailing on the hoodie or anything. So yeah, I'd finished him. I've still got some little bits to do, like you can see the brown poking through because rather than crocheting through the hood around the neck, I crocheted the hood to the neck just to try it because I thought it might be better for testing things, and I felt that that was a bit more secure, but I can see why Nook didn't say to do that now, because you can, if I really bend the head, you can see the brown poking through. Not that I think customers will notice most of that because it is hidden under the hood, but that one big blob at the side I need to fix. So I took him with me anyway to finish, and then I didn't want to take extra supplies with me because he was already stuffed and had his eyes done, and I already had to take like 3 different colours with me for that. So I decided just to shove a ball of yarn in my bag, and that was the Aurora, the James C. Brown Aurora that I got. And this is one full ball of that pretty much. There's like a couple of little bits on the other ones that I've done, but one full ball did one book sleeve. So this is a granny square that you fold into an envelope shape, and then I've done a strap for it. Yeah, so that is that one. Then this whipped up pretty quick, to be fair. I think I was working on this for like half an hour while we were there and then maybe an hour when we were back, so that was pretty good. Took like an episode of Supernatural to finish. The bit genuinely that took the longest was the cord, because I tried just doing a single chain and then I thought, nah, I don't like the way that looks, so I did 3 very long chains and then braided them, which I don't actually like the way that that's turned out, but I've done it now. So that's that ball. Then that does mean we finished a ball. as well, which was quite nice. Then I really enjoyed that. So I decided with the bit of green I had left off that ball to make a Wicked themed book sleeve. So this is the James T. Brett Marble Chunky in pink, and then the last sort of little bit of the Aurora Chunky green, and then I've just done a single cord and added some beads on the end of it. That was 2 book sleeves. And then I thought, you know what if people don't want a really long cord? And I had a tiny little bit of the Aurora Chunky left, so I did 1 more book sleeve, granny square, and then did just a little, this comes undone here. So you can see it's just 2 shorter cords, and then they just loop it around a set of stitches and tie it. And that is all of my crocheted book sleeves. And then I decided to crack out my knitting machine and give another knitted book sleeve a go, because I got some advice from Christine. She suggested doing it double length and then putting it back on itself to make it that plusher feeling that I wanted. So that's how this happened. So as you can see, it's sewn on 2 sides and then folded on 1 side. That's what the inside looks like. That was 100 rows, and it fits a paperback book. It doesn't quite stretch to a hardback. So that's that one. I was thinking about maybe trying to make it, like, stretch it out to be wider, so that it had a flap on it, but then it just didn't look right. So I've sewn it like this, and then just done 2 little dangly bits that tie across the book there to keep it in. So that was another book sleeve. That means in total over the weekend / a bit of Friday, I made 2 plushies and 4 book sleeves, and I finished 1 ball of yarn, which wasn't bad going. So that does mean we are now up to date with the amount of patterns for the month. Not the amount of patterns, the amount of projects for the month. We are at 18, so as long as I can do 1 today, then I'm up to date. I'm on top of that. Yarn used, obviously, still lacking. I am planning to get on the knitting machine again tonight and just crank stuff out. I think I'll probably will still make a couple more book sleeves that aren't pink, because all of them pretty much are either pink or the 1 green one at the minute. So I think I want to make a rainbow one, because I've got some rainbow yarn left. Maybe a blue one, because I've got some ombre blue, and I'd like to see how that works on knitted as well as crocheted. So yeah, I've got a chunk of yarn over there that I'll just crank stuff out with, try a few different knitting machine patterns. I think I'm going to try a knitting machine beanie, and maybe a scarf, because I've got a few big markets coming up, so I might as well have some wearables as well, if I can just crank them out. So yeah, that is the plan to get yarn used. But that in total puts us at 8 balls out of 79 used in January. Yes, that's gone up. I bought more yarn for markets. So I've got 7 more balls of chenille, and then this ball. So this is already used and out of the stash. So I have 79 balls. I've used 8 of them. I had 9,639 grams. I've got 8,621 left, so I've used 700 grams, and I have 18 finished projects. It's not bad going. Not bad going at all. And I'm really happy with that, because I did say at the start of the month anyway, it might be that numbers lack a bit this month just while I rest my hands, but I have markets coming up, so I need to start prepping. So I'm going to. And now I'm going to stop rambling, because this has been going 10 minutes, and I will see you in a bit. Hello, I join you back on the 22nd of January. It is Thursday today. I've got a few things to show you. I've not been crocheting much the past few days, just I've been having flares up and stuff. It's been a bit rough, but I join you with things. So firstly, we have the I think this is the baby ladybug. I've been calling it the squishy ladybug by All From Jade. I gave it little hearts so that I can use it for my Valentine's market. Obviously, once it's tested, these are 18mm eyes in very light pink to match the pink that's on it. This is Parfait Chunky in ballet pink and black. So that's what I made to start with. Yeah, it's adorable. Then the next thing is I've been doing the Valentine's crochet along that Knotty Hookers is running. There's a few of them running it. I think Knotty Hookers is one of the main ones. But it was Erin Rose Craft Co.'s turn this time. So I made her Cherish the Chicken, who is very cute. You can tell I was trying to use this sort of ballet pink yarn up. I've still got a bit of it left, but yeah. And these are my new eyes from Mercunian, I think it's called, on Amazon. Recommended by Nicole from Beard Flamingo. So thank you very much for the recommendation, Nicole. I bloody love them. Yeah, cute one, cute one. And then the final thing that I've been making, I've been doing a lot of granny square projects the past few days, just to try and use some of my acrylic up and also like try a few new patterns out that I don't need to do UKCA testing for. So this is the granny square jester hat. There is a tutorial on Instagram, but the tutorial is basically just make a granny hexie, sew these two sides together, and then add some ribbing. It's not original by that pattern designer. They took the idea off Pinterest, so that's what you do. This granny hexie is 12 inches in diameter, but I probably would have made it a bit smaller. I mean, the side length is 12 inches. I'd have probably gone for 11 because it's a bit big. But I wanted to use this pink yarn up, so this pink yarn is finished. And then I've used the red from James C. Brett. This is pink from James C. Brett. Red marble chunky for the ribbing and the sides and the little dangles. The little dangles have hearts on because it's a Valentine's jester. And yeah, it's really cute. So that is that guy done. I think I prefer this jester beanie style to the one I was doing before. It's just a bit quicker, because the one I was doing before you had to make the 2 points and they're 15 rows each, and then join them together and then do another 15 rows all in single crochet. So that took quite a while, and that was also using slip stitch ribbing rather than front post back post. So yeah, those used to take me like 8 hours each to make, and the money I got for them was not worth it, whereas this took a couple of hours because I'm quite quick with the granny stitch, so I can charge a bit less and people hopefully will buy it. So that is that, and that is that, and that is everything that I've made recently. So we have used yarn up. That means we're at 9 balls used in January, 875 grams used in January, and 21 finished projects. So I don't think we're going to be meeting the using balls goals because we are 13 balls behind and 1.5 kilos behind on the usage. But that's fine. Honestly, I knew this month was going to be a lot slower than December, so I'm just enjoying making right now. I've got some market prep I need to do, so that will hopefully use up a bit more yarn. I want to work out something to do with all of my acrylic because I have quite a lot of it, but a lot of it's scrappy pieces, so we'll see. Anyway, I'm rambling, so I'm going to stop. But yeah, I'll see you probably in another few days. Hello, it is the 26th today, I think. It's Monday. It's been a busy weekend space of time area thing. But I've still got stuff done, despite that. I can't remember which days I got it done on, and my iPad's dead right now, so we'll get to it, but yeah. I did also buy more yarn. But that is yarn that I'm planning to just put straight through the knitting machine today, so hopefully that will get used up pretty succinctly. Yeah, right, onto it. So I think the last thing I showed you was Cherish the Chicken by Erin Rose Craft Co. As part of that pattern, there was also Cherub the Chicken. So here is Cherub, who is adorable. I was hoping that the way that this guy was done was going to be similar to how all of my egg-shaped birds are done. Right, yeah, I was hoping that this would be done similar to how my egg-shaped birds are done, so I didn't have to UKCA test it, but sadly it's not. It's bobble stitches on the feet. These are the same wings that I do, and then obviously it's got the frill and the beak is done differently as well, so I will have to test this guy, but that's okay. So that's another one to add to the bag to test when I have the strength to do it, because my joints have hated me the past few days, and then I bashed my back on my stair rail. So we're not doing well physically right now to do UKCA stuff, but that's fine, that can wait. We have 2 weeks till the Valentine's market. We're okay. The next thing was also part of the crochet along. I don't think this guy is going to pass testing because he's got the flimsy wings, so he's staying with me. But this is by Autumn Bloom Crochet. Little Love Moth. So this is Parfait Chunky in Bally Pink, Pale Pink, and then Yarnsmith Chenille in red. And he's just cute. I just love him. So he's mine. He's staying with me. Then the next thing I did was for the Traveller's Wheel. And this is a guy that I have already done the testing for, so we're good to go, good to stick him on the stall. And here's a little woolly mammoth, because I've tested this elephant before, so we're okay. But yeah, so we have a woolly mammoth, and that will be for the Rust and Extinct challenge, because this is Rust and he is extinct. So that was that. Then yeah, after that I just kind of wanted to focus on things I wasn't going to need to do testing for, so that I could just stick them straight on the stall this weekend, because I've got a market coming this weekend. I do have plenty of stock for it, but I just, seeing that pile of stuff I do need to test growing and growing and growing was getting quite overwhelming. So I thought, right, let's go back to the 60 that I already know I can just do and it's fine. So I used up my green Elise Voluto. I made some frogs, because I've done a frog in this yarn before and it passed with flying colours. So I made 5 and this used up the 2 balls that I had. So we have big fat guy with purple eyes, we have slightly less fat guy also with purple eyes, then I moved on to the light green and we have big chunky guy with purple eyes, and then I ran out of the purple eyes, so we have slightly less chunky guy with orange eyes. The chunkiness genuinely just depends on how much I stuff them. Sometimes I get a bit stuff in happy, and sometimes I purposefully understuff them so that they've still got definition. But it's still quite firm, even understuffed. If anything, this guy's overstuffed. So that's how I get the different sizes. And then the final one I made, I didn't quite have enough yarn to finish all the way, so I've just skipped around at the end, which is why he's a little smaller, but he's got gold eyes. So that's him done. And that was 2 balls of Elise Voluto used up, which I'll give you the stats in a second, because I don't know if anyone heard it, but my iPad has finally turned back on. Then the final thing I did this week was finally finishing this guy off. I unpicked his head put the eyes in because I've been trying to embroider them and it's just not worked. So I finally decided to just bite the bullet, put safety eyes in. So I've unpicked his head, had to cut a couple of stitches to do that, but I got it to a point again where I could salvage it without it coming apart on its own, which is nice. Then I just attached my new ball of this yarn and finished the head back off again. So that worked. The only thing I need to do now is, he does need testing, but what I need to do is I need to go in, unpick all of these bits of embroidery that are quite big stripes, and do it again, but just with little stitches so that it's a bit safer and sturdier. And then the other thing I need to do is I ran out of this navy yarn, so I had to finish the embroidery in a different navy, and you can tell. So I think what I'm going to do is unpick the leg and arm stripes on the body, leave the chest how it is, because I'm going to need to unpick these to make them more secure anyway. So I'm going to redo them in the right navy to match the face. The chest I don't think matters quite as much, personally, mostly because I just don't want to have to redo that. So yeah, he needs his embroidery fixing, and then he needs testing, and then he's done. The testicle for him is out. I believe it will be closed by the time this video goes up, but he is being released for your making pleasure on the 14th of February, so on Valentine's Day. The tongue is optional if you don't like the tongue. The safety eyes are optional. You can do either felt or embroidery eyes if you have the skill to do them to look right. I clearly don't, so I used safety eyes. Yeah, I'm so happy with him. So he will be released on Valentine's Day once my lovely testers have finished theirs and told me if the pattern is good enough. So a PDF will be available on my Ko-fi store, and it will also be available as an e-pattern on Ribbler. I think it's going to be about £3.50 for the pattern, just because he is quite complex. But like I said before, if you have any trouble paying for patterns, just DM me, we'll sort something out. So yeah, this guy. And that is everything I've made in the past few days. So stats. So we have used up 2 balls of Elise Veluto, and we have added 3 more balls of various double knit acrylics to the stash. That means we've used 11 balls and have 71 remaining in the stash. We've used 1,081 grams and have 8,798 remaining in the stash, and we have finished 29 projects in January. We don't have any whips at the minute, apart from that hexie blanket that I've been avoiding because I've run out of white acrylic, so I can't actually finish that right now. So that is how we're doing. I need to go to work now, and I will see you probably in another few days because it's going to be a very busy week, so I don't know if I'll remember to pop in and film. So yeah, see you in a bit. Bye. Hello, I'm gonna keep this brief because it hurts to talk. It's the 28th of January today. So I've been making keychains. I made a whale, 3 bees, and 3 little cat faces. There's the 3rd one, it's grey. So I've made 7 keychains. I've then also made a tiger. This is my derpy tiger pattern, but I adapted it to be an actual tiger. The mod for this will be in the official pattern. because it's easy enough. It's changing the colours and then ever so slightly changing the embroidery to make the stripes on the back V-shaped and the chest markings stripes rather than spots, and then changing the colours of the ears. So that should be done soon. I think I'm aiming for that pattern to drop on Valentine's Day, so the 14th of February. In the process of doing that, I finished up my Yarn Smith's White, my smaller ball that I had left over from before Christmas. So the stats, we finished 12 balls in January for a total of 1,144 grams. We have 70 balls remaining and 8,735 grams remaining, and we've finished 37 items in total. I have a little bit more market prep to do. I need to restock my rats, dogs and cats, just my little pocket buddies. So that will be the next couple of days' job. Hello, today is the 1st of February. It's been a rough month health-wise, so I've not got all that much extra done since the last time I checked in with you, which from the look of it was the 28th, I think. Since then I've made 2 mallard ducks. I'll pop a photo up, and 1 Perry the platypus. I started a second Perry the platypus. I have all of the beak and hat and things made. I just needed to actually make the teal bit of the body and put it all together. But that was 2 days ago, and I've not finished him because I've just felt like death warmed up. So yeah, in total for January, that brings us to 40 items out of 41 finished. 13 grams used, giving us 69 remaining, and 1,194 ball grams used. No. 13 balls used, which gives us 82 remaining, and for finished balls 1,194 grams used and 8,685 remaining if they were whole balls. So sorry, my throat is awful. I can't say more than 3 words without coughing. I have been doing something new. I've been recording my grams used project as well, just to get like a running total of what I've used that aren't finished balls. And that's at 2,603 grams, which gives us a total of 7,226 grams that are actually remaining in the stash. Probably. Obviously, a lot of that is approximations. If I've made the same thing 3 times, I've just divided what I've used by 3, grams wise. So yeah, that's how we did for January. From now on, so this video should, if I get it edited in time, should be going up on the 2nd of February. So from now on, this week will be the last week. This week that you're seeing this will be the last week where there is only 1 video a week. The Monday after this one, which is the should be the 8th of Feb or the 9th of Feb, there will be this week the Monday video is going to be this video. The Friday video will be this week's market. The week after that, which is the week where the Monday is the 9th of Feb and the Friday is the 13th of Feb, there will be a what I made this week video, and then there should also be a Friday the 13th challenge video, where I restock some of my spookier things for Friday the 13th. Then the week after that will also be a what I made and a market vlog. That's as far as I've got planned currently. I'm just hoping that that sort of kickstarts my algorithm again, puts me back in YouTube's good books, so we'll see. There might also be another knitting machine blog at some point. There'll be some other stuff going on, so that will be the plan from now on. So if you would like to see all of those videos I've just listed, if you're interested in that, please subscribe and ring the notification bell to be notified when I've uploaded those videos. I can't promise there will be a Friday video every week, just because I am still working full time, and obviously weeks where like I've not been able to crochet as much, I won't necessarily have the energy or the time to film that second video. But I'm gonna aim for at least 6 videos a month, so that will be every other week. There'll be a Friday video, and then if I have videos to upload in between, I will. So yeah, like this video if you liked it. Comment what your favourite thing I've made this month is, and what, if there's anything you've made using my patterns that I've shown you. Not my patterns, but the patterns that I've been sharing. Please, yeah, check my Instagram out if you want my Derpy the Tiger pattern, or my Night and Light Fury keychain patterns. They are, Derpy pattern will be releasing on Valentine's Day, but that's in testing right now, and the keychain is released. Yeah, I don't know if I have anything else to say, so thank you very much for watching. Share this video if you know someone who would like to see it, and I hope you have a nice day and don't feel as horribly rough as I do.